Hey, it's Ryan with Ryonet, and I'm here with the inventor of the Smiling Jack, Dr. J, and Manny Squeegees, Joe Clark. So, Joe, I've learned a lot about these squeegees over the past couple weeks, and we're really excited to be distributing this product. Can you just tell me from a customer's perspective what's different between this blade and that blade and why you invented it?
We'll know why I invented it in a minute, but what I'd like to explain is give you an example that I think everybody can relate to.
Okay.
Supposing we were in your backyard and you had a trampoline in the back. Everyone knows a trampoline's more elastic in the center than at the edges. And then instead of the squeegee, I'm going to tell you this is a rigid 4x4 oak beam.
Yeah.
And I'm going to take that beam, and it's the same width as the trampoline. I'm going to push on the beam. There's springs over here and there's springs over here on the trampoline. And as I push, the resistance is going to go up. But when I look underneath, I'm still not touching the mesh in the center.
Yeah, it's like,
It's dipped. That's exactly the nature of t-shirt screen printing. The mesh is more elastic in the center and less elastic on the edges. So the mesh would like a blade that was shaped in that same curve.
but you
the
can't do
platen
that.
can't do that. It would be impossible. The platen needs a blade that's flat. So what we did, we added the two together and came up with a hinge that's based on the length of the blade, the width of the frame, and off contact, and screen tension. So that the edge of the blade that does the printing is the same all the way from center to edge. It allows us to run a blade literally straight up and down
Wow.
with no angle. It prints two-sided. There's a square edge for less volume of ink. There's a beveled edge for more volume of ink.
Mm-hmm.
We run straight up and down, therefore we need less pressure. Do you understand that?
Yeah, a lot of times that's one of the major problems for people, whether you're on an automatic press or a manual press, is like bearing down on the screen, which breaks your screens down,
Absolutely.
causes a lot of problems.
Wears out the manual printer. By the end of the day, they're exhausted. With our blade, they don't need to be. On the automatics, let's build up better detail, better registration, etc.
Good.
Let me show you what happens. We call it the pendulum effect. If I run a blade straight up and down, I need very little pressure. The load is at midnight, and the edge of the blade is at 6 in the morning. If I put angle on that blade, here's what happens. The pendulum swings up, so now I need to apply pressure, and pressure, and pressure, and pressure. And very soon the blade begins to buckle.
And as soon as you lose that buckle, the ink starts to transfer. You start to smash it in.
It's like printing with a ripe banana.
That's a
If you're
good
working
analogy.
on an overprint color, so let's say a royal blue over top of a flash white, what's going to happen is the blade will broadcast the ink. So let's imagine you and I are in the company pool, and here's the water line. And I put my hand in the water line, and as hard, as fast as I can, I push forward.
Mhm.
The water will move out of the way. But if I take my hand and angle it, just like a buckled blade, I can hit that wall.
It
of
like
water.
creates that.
Right. So, in one case, buckling restricts the volume of ink you need for an opaque white.
Mm-hmm.
In the other case, it overloads the royal blue.
Yeah.
Buckling is the enemy. We want to keep the blade as vertical as possible with minimal pressure. And the third part that sometimes people don't realize about our blades, all the ink manufacturers in the country will tell you, Ryan, stir that ink before you go to press. They may tell you put shear into it or put energy into it, but they will tell you to stir it.
Yeah.
And then we go to
Modulate.
press. And because we're buckled, we print slowly. Doesn't make any sense. Because our blades run vertical with minimal pressure, we want them run fast. On an
Speed.
automatic, 80 to top speed. 80% of top to maximum speed.
That's fast.
Very fast.
And in manual, same concept. You can run faster. With less
Well, in the
pressure.
manual, initially the operator might say, but Ryan, I'm working so hard. We're working hard because I have to push so hard.
Yeah.
We've eliminated that phenomenon. They don't have to push so hard. It's easy to go a little quicker pace.
Awesome.
The quicker pace takes a thick ink and makes it thin, so it transfers through the mesh very easily and attaches to the garment.
We have a lot of customers, both in the automatic realm and the manual realm, who are starting out screen printing. So a lot of the things that you cover, like overloading the mesh and causing too much, not putting enough white down or causing too much ink to go through the mesh and blurring out the image, we get calls like that all the time. So we're really excited to explain to customers not only some new techniques, but also using some right tools. Tools always make your life easier. You know,
Sure.
the right tools you can use to really assist your speed and your productivity and the quality, really.
Yep.
All of the above. So that's really exciting.
Great, thank you.
Now, over the next couple videos, what we're going to be doing is kind of proving this both on the manual press and the automatic press with white ink, which is everyone's worst enemy, and also on simulated process jobs. So you have some other blades, not only the Smiling Jack that we'll talk about later, but this was the first idea?
This was the maiden voyage, and it worked out so well we made a couple more.
And you've been in the industry for how long?
Earth years, 43 years.
Earth years. I like that. Well, I mean, the cool thing, I've been screen printing for 12 years, and I really like knowing how to do it for maybe 5 years. And so meeting people like yourself in the industry, it's just really exciting for myself and the rest of the people here at the company to help raise our game up. And as we do that, we'll show videos on YouTube, tech articles on the website. We can really help our customers' game go up, make them more profitable, make them better printers. And as we know, if you're a better printer, if you can do it faster, you can do better quality, you're going to be more successful, you're going to make more money.
Absolutely.
So that's your goal. What would be your main goal in introducing this blade into the mass textile market?
Everything has been addressed in the industry, really except the Squeegee blade.
Yeah, nobody's touched it.
We have a blade, if you look at the hinge, there's a curve in it based on the trampoline point. The ends of the blade can flare out 8 times as much as the center. So it allows us to use less pressure. It allows us to make fewer passes and get better opacity. Less pressure and get less distortion. My goal is to make it easy and comfortable to print the most demanding jobs, which we're going to show later, and make it comfortable and predictable and repeatable.
And we were already in some customer shop demoing this as we're doing this research and development with you on this blade. And we're going from customers, like, we basically sit down and ask them, okay, how many times do you print your white? And the guy we were at yesterday, Tim, over at Infinity Impressions, he said, okay, I do 2 passes and then a flash and then 2 passes. Or sometimes I do print, flash, So he's doing 4 to 3 passes and 1 to 2 flashes. And we started sticking these blades in, and what happened?
Immediately we knocked off 1/3 of his attempts, 1/3 of his effort.
At least, because at the end of it, it was 1 pass, flash, 1 pass.
Right.
So literally 50% of the time it took before.
And the ink was smoother and more opaque and better matte down.
Now it's not just a plug and play. You can't just sit there and just plug this into a press. There is a certain way to use that. So we're going to be doing some very specific instructional videos on how to do that, because if it doesn't make logical sense. If you put this in your press and try to print with it the same way you're used to printing, it's not going to work.
No, it'll fit.
It kind of goes backward logic. So it's just a little bit of training. You don't want to invest in something like this and not know how to use it. Same
Absolutely.
thing. You wouldn't want to drive a race car and know how to race. So we're really excited about this. Thank you very much for coming out here, and let's get started learning more about the Smiling Jack. And then we also have the Dr. J and Manny. Thanks, Joe.
Thanks, Ryan.